introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation to Kiev. It's my first time here. My name is Kleist, and I represent the German Sustainable Building Council, that's the original translation of DGNB. And the title of my presentation is How to Measure Sustainability. I will try to show you how we do this with our DGNB certification system. And I'm glad to hear from Dr. Chetverikov that you will start to do something similar here in the Ukraine. Okay. So it's even my first time I present an Ukrainian presentation here, so I hope I will do it well.
It's always a challenge.
First I will present to you the DGNB certification system and our criteria which are in the system. Then I will show you how you can adapt the system, our system, to your country. And you will learn a little bit of the benefits we think you will get out of a certification. And I will give you a short overview about our DGNB Academy, what I do the whole day, and what perhaps we can do for you as well. So let's start with an overview of the certification system. As you already heard, the DGNB system is based on the entire life cycle of a building. Because of this holistic approach, we talk about a second generation system. And you already heard BREEAM and LEED are much older. BREEAM was founded in 1990, I think, and LEED 10 years later. The DGNB is just the child among these Green Building Council, because we were founded in 2007 and certified our first project in the beginning of 2009. So we're just the youngest system. One reason why we call our system a second generation system is that you have to evaluate all criteria and you can't choose which one you want to evaluate, like in the LEED and BREEAM system. So for example, if your choice of the material isn't that good, you can choose another criteria to earn your credits in LEED and BREEAM. In the DGNB system, you are forced to point out that your choice of material is not that good, and perhaps you will get no credits out of it, of the material, but you clearly have to point it out, and everyone can see it on the certificate that your building is in this special criteria not that good. You can't hide it anymore. You have to present it to to everyone. So our opinion is, if you use state-of-the-art technology and intelligent concepts, for example, for cooling and heating system, like Roald Hinne already described, instead of spending money for an HVAC, if you talk about the targets you want to achieve in an early stage of the designing process with a complete planning team, and not just talk with them, if you do it in an integral designing process where everyone has something to say, it's not only the architect who is the man in charge or the woman in charge and all others has to follow. We talk about integral designing process where every member of this designing team is equal and they have the right to explain their meaning of and to optimize the whole approach. If you do it that way, we think the requirements of our certification system are fulfilled and you can reach a certificate. That goes a little bit to your question. You talked about the polluted environment here in the Ukraine. the certification system are not only based on pollution and on environment, as we already have seen. Perhaps you will lose some credit points in that special area, but as long as you build a good, sustainable building, you can cover that. So, in my opinion, there is no problem to reach a certificate here in Ukraine. So, what are the unique selling points of a certification, of our certification system? We evaluate an overall performance of a building, and not merely individual or specific measures. Owners and designers are given a large leeway to achieve the target values. We measure the life cycle assessment and the life cycle costing of the building with a focus on the comfort and health of the user. The system is based on European standards and guidelines, and but also used as an optimization tool or to assess the quality of a building, similar to BREEAM and LEED as well. We take a closer look to our evaluation areas. You see the three green columns. These are the so-called 3 columns of sustainability. That's the environmental quality, the ecological quality, and the social cultural quality. As you also can see, all 3 columns are weighted with 22.5% inside of the criteria. Perhaps you have in mind the sheet from Robert, where you could see that energy demand, I think, was with 37 points out of the main, out of all criteria of 110, so it's around 35%, I think. So here you can see what we do in our system. We weight all these 3 qualities in the same way, and also we weight our technical quality with 22.5%. And the rest, 10%, is covered by the process of designing and constructing the building. So you can't cover the bad environmental quality with a very, very good economic quality. So if you add in economic, gold is gone. You can't reach it anymore. You can't cover points you lose in one of these qualities by being very good in another quality. Another point I would point out here is the site quality. You see 0%. That's another difference to BREEAM and LEED. We have at least 48 active criteria in our system for new build office buildings, and the 5 qualities you already know. And inside of each quality we have different criteria with different weightings. So I will come back to that point later on when I show you the criteria in detail. Well, let me drop a few words on the site quality. Dr. Erken mentioned the low-hanging fruit. She said you can earn some easy credits by having a bus stop, for example, right in front of the building, or by putting and having your building right in the middle of a larger city where everything is, the transport is very good covered, where all other facilities are surrounded to your building. We decided to cut off the link of the site quality, because we will measure it, you will get an evaluation point. You will get some percentage out of 100, how much you have reached with your building, but you can't lift your building to gold or platinum or whatever just by having the bus stop in front of the building. So we cut it off and evaluate this quality separately. And another big difference is we don't have platinum and we don't have diamond or whatever. We are just with the Olympic thought, bronze, silver, gold. That's all you can reach. Gold is the highest medal you can get in Germany. But at least you have to fulfill 50% of all requirements of the DGNB system to get into the game, to get bronze. If you have more than 80%, you can reach the gold medal, but that's a hard way to go. We did it with a few office buildings and some retail buildings, and I can tell you at the end it was hard to get the last few credits. But perhaps you will make your experience by yourself if we perhaps invent our system here, or I will later on come later on to the project. Robert already mentioned that we try to invent the DGNB system in the Ukrainian and we try to adapt it. But I come back to this later on. The documents you provide will go through an independent conformity assessment. So it's not just sending them somewhere and the auditor said, okay, it's gold, and then you're gold. There is an assessment center at the DGNB and they will check everything you send to them. And this could be a hard way too. If your documentation isn't that good, then useful. Then you have to provide some more documents or to work again on your audit. So as promised, I will show you now some more details of our criteria. First of all, you see the criteria inside the environmental quality. These 7 highlighted criteria we merge for the life cycle assessment. We measure the ecological footprint in compliance with the European standards. It's ISO 14040 there. And again, we're talking about the whole life cycle of the construction and the building, from the construction process over the utilization up to the end of the building. So the end of the building, the demolition of the building. The usage of primary energy and of renewable energy is also evaluated in this life cycle assessment. So this is a complete complex process you have to assess here, and this is based on a database.